Standing out as a real estate agent in 2025 is hard. There's no two ways about it, especially if you're in a competitive market where it seems like every other person is a real estate agent. Standing out's hard, but it is not impossible. And 99% of the agents are all doing the same stuff, so you making a few pivots is actually going to help you stand out way above the crowd. Now, if you're new to this channel, my name is Christian. I am a team leader of Onyx Homes, and we have sold over 740 homes just since 2020 and roughly about $700 million in volume. Now, the reason that I share that is because we do this in our market, and this content flywheel that I'm going to share with you that you can implement in your business is something that I didn't even know I was doing when I started in 2020. It helped me personally sell over $1 million in GCI in my first 2 years of selling, and I've completely stepped out of sales after that, and we have used this over and over again to not only attract more agents to our business, but also to attract more and more deals even without me actually selling. So in this video, I'm gonna break down our content flywheel so that you can implement this into your business. Now, the first thing I wanna do is, I have my notes down here, but I wanna put this on the screen. And this is Amazon's flywheel. So if you're not familiar with what a flywheel is, I think Amazon's a really good example. Here it is up on the screen, I hope. Unless David makes me look bad. This is what a flywheel actually does. So this is Amazon, Amazon.com, everybody knows it. I just picked off the third package off my porch this afternoon because my wife is addicted. But at the center of this flywheel is growth, right? So as the more Amazon grows, the more this flywheel spins, which is why it's called a flywheel, the more Amazon grows. So the four things at the core are selection at the top, customer experience. So the more selection there is, the better customer experience Amazon's able to give. We know that. If I want to buy anything in the whole world, I go to Amazon first. So more selection gives a better customer experience. Better customer experience drives more traffic to the website, because if you have a good experience once, you're going to come back, you're going to tell friends about it. Now, the more traffic that they get to their website attracts more sellers. More sellers selling on Amazon means there's more selection, right? So you can see how that is a flywheel, and it just spins and spins and spins. Now, the more that it spins means the company grows. The more the company grows, you can see this kind of spin off to the side, is a lower cost structure, which leads to lower prices. If they have lower cost structure at scale, that means they're able to sell things for less money, which leads to a better customer experience, which leads to more traffic, more sellers, more selection, and the flywheel just spins and spins and spins. So everything that Amazon does is really, everything they're trying to do is to improve any of these different areas, all that makes the business grow. Okay, I went through that quick, but I hope that makes sense in the sense of how a flywheel actually works on a business that we all know and love. Now the question is, how can you actually tie this to your real estate business? And this is the content flywheel. Now, I know before we go too much deeper, you see 7 to 10 Instagram ads every single day from some coach or guru telling you how you can make 5 to 10 more deals per month using social media. All of it's nonsense. I've responded to a few of those ads. You could do 10 deals a month by posting twice. It's just ridiculous. And that's not at all what we're talking about here, is the reason I mentioned that. The reason I say that is because most real estate agents look at making content completely backwards. And it was what stopped me from making more content earlier in my career. And we have completely flipped it. And this is what has worked very well for us. And I think it'll work well for you as well too. Now let's start by backing up and talking about the goal of content. The goal for content is not for becoming famous. It's not for being able to speak on stage. The goal is to make money, right? It's not necessarily for lead gen. Now, this is where most people get it totally wrong. Most people only look at content as a way to generate new leads. And when I had this light bulb go off, where content is actually to nurture and convert the leads you already have, lead generation is the icing on a cake, then I really understood this flywheel. So let me break down what the flywheel is for content in your real estate business. It starts with number one, to convert the leads that you already have, right? If the goal is to make money, why wouldn't we start with the closest thing to a deal now, which is leads we already have? So making content to convert leads we already have, and I will go into more detail in a second, is the first step of this flywheel. Just like for Amazon, the first step is the selection, right? They have to have stuff on their website in order for people to actually buy. Now for us, we want to start with converting the leads we already have. Now, the second thing that we want to do once we start that part of the flywheel, we want to move on to nurturing leads that are not ready to go right now. The last thing anybody wants to hear is that you probably don't need more leads. You need to convert the leads you already have at a higher rate and actually follow up with leads you've generated in the past. That's the hard truth most real estate agents don't want to hear, but you need to convert the leads you already have at a higher rate and nurture the leads that are ready to go next year or in the next 6 months, so that when that comes around, you're actually doing those deals versus missing out. Now, the last part of this is where you go into lead generation. So this content flywheel works. You want to convert the leads you already have, you want to nurture the leads you already have, and then you want to start making content that will generate you new leads that you will then convert and nurture the ones that aren't ready. All right, so let's dive in deeper, and I'm going to give you some very tactical things and real stories from how we actually do this with our business. Okay, so let's start with content to actually convert the leads you already have. Why is this the most important? Well, like I said earlier, the goal is to make money. The goal is not to be famous on Instagram or TikTok. So we want to get you some quick wins first. And you know how to make this type of content. Now, if you're not in front of the camera, if you're not good in front of the camera, if you don't have a studio set up like this, that's fine. You're using your content in order to convert leads. What I mean by this is you're only talking to the people who are likely already working with you, or they're right on the edge and you just need to push them over. This is going to help you stand out against all of the other agents who are just, going through the basics. So what type of content actually converts leads? This is content where you are talking about showing what it looks like to work with you rather than telling people. There's a few different ways to do this. I highly encourage you to make what is known in the marketing world as a video sales letter. This is a video, think of it this way. Think of your best sales pitch you've ever given ever on video. You recorded it, and then every single customer ever, the history that works with you, gets to see the absolute best sales pitch. That's what is a video sales letter at the end of the day. If you go on any website, you'll probably end up seeing a video sales letter, whether it's Apple, whether you're going on a demo for a software. I can promise you, now that you know what this is, you're probably going to see this everywhere. So how can you make this? Here is my advice. I would start from the back of the transaction and start moving forward. Meaning, what is the video sales pitch that you would give right before somebody actually goes into contract? Make that piece of content. The goal here is not to get views, it's for the 2 people that actually view it to convert into a closed deal. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna go from back to front in content, and you're gonna make content in that direction. So you're gonna make most bottom of funnel up to the top. So at the very bottom of the funnel would be the sales pitch you would wanna give to somebody who's just thinking about hiring you. And the video might be talking about, here is the best case scenario, here's the worst case scenario, here are some case studies or some wins or some testimonials from clients that I've worked with in the past, and spelling out what exactly it actually looks like to work with you, why somebody might actually hire you, or put better, why all of your clients already hire you. So you're going to be talking about pros and cons, you're going to be talking about the wins, the case studies you have, and exactly what it looks like to work with you. Basically, what do you do for them? Now you can do this for buyers and sellers because those are 2 different services. Now before that, for example, going higher up in the funnel, let's say we were working with buyers and making a video sales letter about newer buyers that are thinking about working with you. This might be, we offer free touring services, so we don't require a signed contract. You don't have to hire us before we'll just go show you a property. We offer free touring services, and for the first 7 days of working together, no cost, no obligation. And if you don't want to work with us after the fact, that's no problem. But if you do want to take the next step, it would be what we call a buyer strategy session. And here's the best case, here's the worst case, here's some testimonials of clients who have done that in the past. So you're showing what it looks like to work with you before you ever ask for the business. And this is content that you're going to be making. You can post this on all the different platforms, but you're making this specifically to convert the leads you already have. Now, I can go on and on about this, but I have spent probably, just to give some context here, I have spent probably the last 9 months making almost exclusively this content for my team. Now, why is it that taken that long? Granted, we make a lot of different videos. It's because you're gonna make and remake these videos over time because you want them to be good. Now, you don't have to do that at first, but I honestly have spent the last 9 months almost exclusively making this type of content. Now, I should say remaking this type of content because we have already had it in the past. Now, think of it when a lead comes in, you can send them content based on where they're actually at in the process. So if you just met somebody in an open house, you can send them a video of what it looks like to meet you at an open house and then hire you, all the things you do, to where even if they're not responding, you can keep sending them that type of content where they can see what it looks like to work with you without having to get on the phone and get a sales pitch. Nobody wants to talk to you anymore, so giving this information up front is incredibly valuable. So that's what we want to do at literally every step of the way. Also, because this content is not viral by nature, you're not looking for views. Honestly, not very many views is probably a good thing because you want this content to only speak to the people who are actually looking to make a move right now in your local marketplace. All right, that's content to convert. Let's go ahead and move to content to nurture because not every single person is going to be ready to move right now. So here's my 3 different, maybe 4 different things that I recommend you do, that we do, that you can add into your content mix to nurture the people who aren't ready to go right now, but you want them to be hiring you as the no-brainer choice when they actually are ready to go. So here's how we do this. You are going to make a weekly piece of content. Every single week from here on out, you are going to make one piece of long-form content. What do I mean by long-form? I mean horizontal, like this. Assuming you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever you're watching this, it is a horizontal video, long form. You're gonna make one every single week. Now, long form doesn't have a time. It could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be whatever. Honestly, the sweet spot's probably 8 to 25-ish minutes. If I were to guess, this video is probably gonna end up being 25 to 30, maybe a little bit on the long side, because there's a lot of meat in here. But you're gonna make one every single week. Now, if you're saying that sounds like a lot, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, here's how this breaks down into 3 different categories. Number 1, a monthly market update. Every single person you will ever run into in public that knows you're a real estate agent is gonna ask you one question. You know what that question is. It's how's the market? So just answer the most common question we always get as real estate agents every single week anyway. You're gonna share every single week, how's the market? And you're gonna talk about your local market, not national news headlines. You might tie in how national news headlines are relating to your local market, but you want to be showing that you're an expert in the market versus just telling people you're the best. So that's 12. There's 12 months in a year. You're going to do one monthly market update every single month. So out of 52 weeks in the whole year, 12 of them are market updates. The next thing you're going to do is every single month, you are going to share a case study, meaning a win for your client every single month. So let's say the first week of every month is the monthly market update. The next week of every single month is a testimonial or a case study showing how you helped this client overcome this problem, and then they bought or sold a house with you and left you a 5-star review. You are going to share how you overcame the problem because other people are experiencing that problem, and this shows that you actually know what you're doing in the marketplace versus, again, telling everybody that you're the best. So a monthly case study, you might say, for example, that you represented this buyer and they went through your buyer strategy session and they took all of your advice. You beat out 12 offers and you weren't even the highest price because of your terms, and your buyer took your advice of what you do to get your offer accepted. Your buyer was able to win. They left you a 5-star review and they got the house for $25,000 less than everybody else, even though there were 12 offers on the property. That is a case study win, testimonial. That type of content is going to get the person who's looking to move next year and the person who's looking to move right now. Everybody's interested in that type of content. So if you do that every month, you do a monthly market update every month, that's half of the year taken care of almost. So that's 24 out of the 52 weeks. The rest, so 28 remaining weeks, you have to make valuable content. Now, when I say you have to, here's how I would break this down. I would grab a notepad or grab your phone and just have the notes section. I would keep track of every question that you receive, every problem that you run into. And I would keep a running list. And I would tally, like if somebody has the same problem, I would mark how many people have that problem. So think of this like you're building up your library of your frequently asked questions, or rather the answers to your frequently asked questions. 1, Really good content. It's very valuable. If one person asks you a question, if two people ask you a question, 100 people have the question. So you might as well make content about it. Also, if somebody asks you that question and they don't want to hop on the phone for you to go through an explanation, imagine if you could just send them that video and say, hey, I understand you have a question, don't want to hop on the phone. Here is a 12-minute video I put together that answers that question. You're not alone. A lot of people have had that question before. Here's a video that I just put together on it. This is real life. I literally just got off a sales call, and at the end of the sales call, the guy was trying to book me for another call. I'm like, dude, I don't want to get on a sales call. He's like, how about this? I'll send you a video that breaks down the entire services, the packages, the whole thing. I'm like, that's fantastic. That was a video sales letter he sent me. But anyway, that's how you make valuable content. You answer the questions that you are being asked. Don't overcomplicate this, and don't feel bad if you need to repeat yourself. You're probably going to make the video about doing a strategy session 5 to 10 times and saying it in different ways or looping it in different ways. That is totally fine. If you're talking to sellers and you talk about prepping your home and pricing it right and all that, you're probably going to say it a lot because it's really important. So don't forget that. And here's a quote to maybe help you. David Ogilvy, who's one of the best marketers of all time, I've got his book right behind me. I think it's right up here. He said this best, and I needed to hear this, was you're not marketing to a standing army. You are marketing to a moving crowd. And what that means is you're not sitting here with a microphone yelling at the same 100 people or 1,000 people that are standing in the same spot. You are in a parade, or rather, you are part of the parade, and people are seeing you, but you're not always marketing to the same people. You're not marketing to the same 100 people every single time. So that was one thing that I thought was very interesting. Now, here's a pro tip here for distributing this content, is if you don't like being on camera like this, that's fine. Is it better? Of course it is. But if you don't like how you look and you don't look like how you sound, I would say get over it. Jason Pantana, Tom Ferry's marketing guy, had the best line I've ever heard on this. He said, if you don't like how you look on camera and you don't like how you sound on camera, I've got news flash. That's exactly how you look, and that's exactly how you sound. And I thought it was hilarious, and it helped me make content. So anyway, here's how you can use and reuse content. Just a kind of a pro tip here. Long form is YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, blog, those things. I'm sure I'm missing some, but you get the point. You can also take the same topic and make a short form out of it. So I can make this 25-minute video, and I can also condense it into a short form video that I could shoot separately. And I can also make the written. So for example, the script that I'm reading for this video, I can use that as a Facebook post, as a LinkedIn post, as an email newsletter, as a mailer. You can use it for whatever you want. You can also shorten it, make written short form, and you can make that for Twitter or X. You can make it carousels, you can make it a story, right? There's a lot of different things you can do, but the topics are gold. Okay, now I spent a ton of time on nurture, but it's because it's incredibly important. Now, let me pivot to lead generation, which is probably one of the things you're most interested, but I will tell you, honestly, I've been making content for about 3 years now. We have a YouTube channel that is for lead generation, and it has not been our major focus. We have generated about $300,000 in GCI in 2 years from it. And for reference, that's not a big chunk of our business it's like 2% of our business. So that's why I say I haven't been making content for lead gen. Having said that, it works. We're doing way more of it. And now, last month, we just started going all in for actual lead generation. The YouTube channel started with making content to send specific areas and stuff to the leads we already had, and it turned into it also generated leads. So it wasn't the intention necessarily in the beginning. But let's get to lead gen. So here's the 2 major steps I'll say, but these are lessons that I learned. Number 1 is decide a clear avatar of who you actually want to attract, meaning who are you talking to on the camera? For example, when I'm making content for real estate agents, I am talking to like myself in 2020 and 2021. I'm talking to a full-time agent who absolutely wants to improve and wants to make good money. I'm not talking to a real estate agent that wants to make 40 or 50 grand a year and work as a hairdresser. Sorry if that's you, but if you want to get to multiple 6 figures and you want to get the shortest path to get there or to build the biggest long-term business, that is exactly who I'm talking to. So I'm talking to a professional real estate agent that is full-time, that wants to invest in education and to be able to leapfrog in the business. That's who I'm talking to. So if that's you, like and subscribe and do all the things. You also, step 2, you want to have a lead magnet that makes sense for that person. For example, I have a free community for real estate agents that are exactly what I just described. If you want to get better at sales, marketing, and leadership, I have a free community that you can join where you can get my full sales masterclass and get a lot of direct access to me as well too. We just started doing live calls every single week. So if you want to join that, the link is in the description down below, totally free. You can go in there, you can join. There's thousands of other agents in there as well too. Free sales master, there's a lot of stuff. So just go check it out. So that is a call to action that makes a lot of sense for my avatar, for you. So you want to have that as well too. Now, I will say on the consumer facing side, we've really struggled with this and we have not actually landed on the best lead magnet for consumer facing. And part of the problem is because we didn't do it in the beginning. We are now 2.5 years into content and we have so many different calls to action all over the place. I highly recommend, and I think honestly, as a real estate agent, if you were the one selling, the best thing to do, get your CRM phone number and say, call or text me at this number, or go to link to website. I think that's honestly the best. I've watched a lot of people do it. You want to have a CRM phone number so that it's trackable and so you can easily hand the leads off. But I think call text is the best possible one because it's the highest intent people. I would also offer a lead magnet like a buyer guide, a relocation guide, a home value, something like that, or jump on your newsletter. If you're already making the content, you're doing monthly market updates, that could be your lead magnet as well too. That's what we ran with. Opt in for our market updates, our weekly newsletter, and then we can upsell them into a booked call with the team. So my 2-step advice: 1, figure out exactly who you're talking to immediately and pick what your call to action is going to be and stick with it. So that's the 2 things. Now, when it comes to the actual content that you're making, totally different ballgame. There's a lot of different ways to make content to lead generate. There's really only one way to make content to nurture and convert, which is everything we've talked about so far. But your content to lead generate, think of it as you're grabbing more top of funnel eyeballs. So what we opted to do here was the YouTube channel is a relocation YouTube channel for people that are searching evergreen videos, that people are searching, moving to Orange County, living in Orange County, all the different cities, pros and cons, things to do, stuff like that. Where we're not going viral on any of these videos, but we want to make sure that every time someone types in moving to Orange County or pros and cons of Orange County, our videos are popping up. That's what we're striving for. Now, on the flip side, on the social aspect of it, we wanted to go more top of funnel. I'm going off the screen. We wanted to go more top of funnel because our YouTube content lives down here in the middle, bottom of funnel. So we wanted to go top of funnel with social. Now what we're doing is we're taking clips of our long form videos and I'm going boots out on the ground and I'm going out in the field. We're doing home tours. We're doing pros and cons of cities. We're doing that type of stuff. Way more top of funnel. Safest areas in Orange County. We just had a battle on our TikTok of people talking, like going back and forth talking about why Orange County is terrible, which is great for the channel. And that's really more of what we're looking for. And call to action there is jump on our weekly newsletter where we share the most valuable information going on and obviously monthly market updates. So that is how we've chose to do lead generation. Now for you as a real estate agent, I think you can go one step farther because you at the end of the day are a personal brand. So how I'd recommend doing this is I would get busy in the stories, especially on Instagram. Your Instagram poll or your story strategy should be heavily poll focused, at least for right now. It works very well. And jumping in the DMs. So if I made an Instagram poll, I took a video of a house and I just said, hey, did you know that you could buy a house for less than 5% down? And if everybody that says yes, be like, DM them and then say, hey, great. What is your understanding? Like, what are your plans or do you have any plans for making a move? If somebody says no, you would share with them how you can actually buy a house for 3% down, 3.5% down, your different loan options. Maybe, God forbid, you take the content you've already made to nurture and convert leads and you send it to them. You can do all kinds of different stuff like this, right? Do you think it's a good time to buy a house? If they say yes, great. Are you thinking about making a move? If they say no, ask them why. Those are all leads. If they're gonna opt into your poll, and DM them, and that is a lead. I don't know, we don't need to overcomplicate this. If somebody opts into your thing, that is a lead. Then you use the content to nurture and convert them as well too. So at the end of the day, I don't want to overcomplicate this. If you're making content with the focus of lead generation, it is the hardest. It just is. You're looking for traffic to your page, and a certain percentage of that traffic is an opt-in. The reality is, most agents don't get anywhere near enough views to actually generate leads. And it's because it's hard. It just is. I have a lot of resources. We just launched this channel, and let me see if I can find it. The first few videos we posted actually did okay. But here's where we're at. We have all of 147 followers. The first video we posted had 142 views. Second one had 1,600, 300, 800, 200, 400, 700, 900, 7,000, and then 40,000 on the next video. And we still have 147 followers. So my point to this is, you have to get to a volume of views and a volume of eyeballs, because the point is, you have to get probably 100 views to your page before you get 2 opt-ins. So 2 leads. And most people don't do nearly enough work to actually get there. So if you're watching this and you are looking, I hope what you took away from this was nurturing and converting is way more important than lead generation. Now, obviously, if you don't have any leads at all, content's probably not the best place to go. There's a lot of other things to do to generate leads right now. But if you already have a successful business and you want to 10x it over the next 2 to 5 years, this is definitely the strategy that I would take. Now, if you're wondering how I nurture my database of over 20,000 people that are actively in our database, watch this next video on how we do our email newsletter. We send 50,000 emails every single week, and you can implement this into your business right away. Now, if you found this valuable, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in this next one.